All right, so here's a quick little video on finding standard deviation. Standard deviation is a measure of center, so kind of like range and interquartile range, it's just measuring how kind of accurate or precise or concise, maybe rather, is the data to the mean. How well grouped together is it? So this is just a really short example because standard deviation can take a really long time to do, but I want to give you at least one example of how to do it by hand before I show you everything in the calculator. All right, so the first thing is standard deviation is a kind of a measure of how far something deviates. That means how far away it is from the standard, which we're going to use to be the mean. So standard is going to be the mean. All right, so the first thing I've done is I've found the average here, which means or the mean, I added all these together and I divided by 6, and I got that the mean in this set of data, well, that would help if I spell it right. The mean in this set of data is going to be 26. So the first thing we do is figure out how far do each of the values deviate, as in how far away are they from the mean. So for example, 21 is 5 away from the mean. It doesn't matter like positive or negative because we're going to end up squaring that, so it doesn't matter. All right, 24 is 2 away, 26 is 0, 0, 28 is 2 away from 26, and 31 here is going to be 5 away. This is a nice symmetrical example. Most of them don't end up this way. All right, then to find standard deviation, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to square the deviations, and then we're going to take the average of those numbers. So I'm just going to kind of show you step by step, and then you'll see what it looks like all at the end. So now we're going to square them. That's going to give me 25, 4, 0 squared is 0, 4, and 25. All right, so to find standard deviation, we're going to, like I said, we're going to add all of these squared values together. So 25 plus 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 plus 25. And then we're going to take the average of that. So there are 6 numbers there, so we're going to divide by 6. And then, because we squared them, we have to undo that, so we're going to take the square root. All right, so I'm going to take a second to calculate that for us. Let's see, 29 plus 29 is 58. So I'm going to be doing the square root of 58 divided by 6. All right, that's going to be the square root of 0.96 repeating. So when I type that in my calculator, you can either copy and paste, or you can take the square root of 0.967, and that's going to give me, in the end, the standard deviation to be 0.98. So again, standard deviation is a measure of center, and this is going to make a lot more sense when we start looking at distributions, because standard deviation kind of helps us figure out, or will help us figure out, and I'd put this in your notes, it'll help us figure out where outliers are, and it's related to normal distributions, which won't mean anything to you for another day or two, but we'll look at that when we get there.